They want a reaction. Your silence destroys their script. Imagine this. Someone throws a barbed comment your way on social media, designed to sting, or in a heated meeting. A colleague undermines you, hoping to see you falter. Perhaps in a tense moment with your partner, words are slung like arrows, each one begging for a retort. In every case, the world seems to demand one thing from you: a reaction. They want you to snap, to argue, to lose your cool. Why? Because your reaction hands them control. It's their script, and they expect you to play your part. But what if you didn't? What if, instead of firing back, you chose silence? What if, instead of letting their words pull you into chaos, you stood unshaken, like a mountain weathering a storm? This is the essence of real strength, a principle rooted in the ancient philosophy of Stoicism. Real strength isn't shouting louder, proving your point, or winning the argument. Real strength is not reacting. It's the calm, deliberate choice to hold your ground, to master your emotions, and to let others exhaust themselves in their own drama. When you refuse to react, you rewrite the rules. You take back the power. In a world obsessed with instant responses, where every notification, every slight, every provocation demands your attention, this idea feels radical. We're conditioned to believe that strength means fighting back, that silence equals weakness. But Stoicism teaches us otherwise. The Stoic philosophers, like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, understood that true power lies in what you control: your mind, your emotions, your actions. Everything else, the opinions of others, their provocations, their chaos, is outside your dominion. To react is to surrender your control to someone else's script. To remain silent, to stay composed, is to claim victory over yourself, which is the only victory that matters. Think about the last time you reacted impulsively. Maybe it was a heated text exchange, a biting comeback in a meeting, or a moment of frustration with someone you love. How did it feel afterward? Did the rush of adrenaline bring you peace, or did it leave you drained, regretting words you couldn't take back? The truth is, reacting often feels good in the moment, but it rarely serves you in the long run. It's like drinking salt water to quench your thirst. It only leaves you wanting more. The Stoics knew this, and they offered a better way, a path of calm, of clarity, of strength, through restraint. This isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending you don't feel the sting of an insult. It's about recognizing that you have a choice. You don't have to play the role others assign you. When someone tries to pull you into their drama, they're betting on your reaction to keep the cycle going. Your silence, your refusal to engage, breaks that cycle. It's not passive weakness, it's active defiance. It's the courage to say, "This is not my battle. My peace is worth more than your provocation." In this video, we're going to explore what it means to embody this Stoic principle in a world that thrives on chaos. We'll dive into why not reacting is your greatest weapon, how silence can shift the balance of power, and how you can apply this mindset in the most challenging areas of modern life: social media, the workplace, and your closest relationships. You'll hear timeless wisdom from the Stoic masters, practical strategies to stay calm under pressure, and real-world examples of how refusing to react can transform the way you move through the world. Why does this matter? Because in a culture that glorifies outrage and rewards impulsivity, choosing not to react is a rebellion. It's a declaration that you are not a puppet to others' strings. It's a commitment to living on your terms, guided by reason and inner strength. The Stoics believed that the only thing you truly own is your character, how you think, how you act, how you respond to the world. When you master the art of not reacting, you protect that character. You build a fortress around your peace, one that no insult, no drama, no provocation can breach. So, let's begin this journey together. Let's uncover the power of silence, the strength of restraint, and the freedom that comes from choosing your response or choosing no response at all. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Let's discover how to wield that power. Starting now, at the heart of Stoicism lies a simple yet profound truth. You cannot control the world, but you can control how you respond to it. This idea, championed by ancient philosophers like Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca, forms the bedrock of why not reacting is not just a tactic but a way of life. To understand the power of not reacting, we must first explore the Stoic principles that teach us to master our emotions, to stand firm in the face of provocation, and to find freedom in self-control. In a world that constantly tests our patience through endless notifications, heated arguments, or deliberate slights, these timeless teachings offer a blueprint for inner strength. Epictetus, a former slave turned Stoic sage, put it best: there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. What does this mean for us today? It means recognizing that the words, actions, and opinions of others are not yours to control. When someone criticizes you online, when a coworker tries to undermine you, or when a loved one lashes out in anger, their behavior is their own. Your reaction, however, is entirely yours. To react impulsively is to hand over your power, to let someone else dictate your state of mind. Topose, to reflect, to choose your response, or to choose none at all, is to reclaim your sovereignty. This principle is rooted in the Stoic concept of the dichotomy of control. Epictetus taught that life can be divided into two categories: things within our control and things outside it. Our thoughts, our choices, and our actions fall within our control. Everything else, external events, other people's opinions, the outcomes of our efforts, does not. When someone provokes you, their words are external. They are not yours to own. But your response, that is yours alone. The Stoics urge us to focus solely on what we can control, letting go of the rest. By doing so, we free ourselves from the chaos of the external world and anchor our peace in the one place it can never be taken: within. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, echoed this in his Meditations. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Let's break this down. When someone insults you, the sting you feel isn't caused by their words alone. It's caused by the meaning you assign to them. If you decide their opinion doesn't matter, the insult loses its power. If you refuse to let their provocation pull you into anger, you remain untouched. This is the Stoic art of reframing, seeing the world not as it acts upon you, but as you choose to perceive it. Consider a modern example. You post something online, and a stranger leaves a scathing comment, attacking your character. Your first instinct might be to fire back, to defend yourself, to prove them wrong. But pause for a moment. Why do their words matter? Are they in your inner circle, someone whose opinion you value, or are they a faceless voice in the digital void, seeking attention through negativity? The Stoics would ask, why give them the satisfaction of your reaction? Why let a stranger's words disrupt your peace? By choosing not to engage, you're not ignoring the insult, you're declaring that it has no hold over you. This is what Marcus Aurelius meant when he said, "Choose not to be harmed." and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. This philosophy isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending you're immune to pain. The Stoics weren't emotionless robots. They were deeply human. They felt anger, sadness, and frustration just as we do. But they believed that emotions, left unchecked, could cloud our judgment and lead us astray. Seneca, another Stoic luminary, wrote, "Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. When you react in the heat of the moment, you risk damaging yourself more than the person who provoked you. A hasty retort might feel satisfying, but it often escalates conflict, entranche division, and leaves you regretting your loss of control." Instead, the Stoics advocate for a pause, a moment of reflection before action. This pause is where your power lies. It's the space where you can ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Does this deserve my energy? Will reacting serve my higher purpose? Or will it pull me into someone else's game? By creating this mental gap, you give yourself the freedom to choose. And in that choice, you embody the Stoic ideal of living according to reason, not impulse. This idea resonates deeply in our modern world, where we're bombarded with stimuli designed to provoke. Social media algorithms thrive on outrage, rewarding posts that spark arguments and reactions. Workplace dynamics often tempt us to prove ourselves by outshouting the competition. Even in our personal relationships, we're sometimes drawn into cycles of drama, where one reaction fuels another until everyone's exhausted. The Stoics would see this for what it is, a trap. Every time you react impulsively, you're playing into someone else's script. You're letting their chaos dictate your state of mind. But there's another way. Imagine a life where you move through these provocations with the calm of a Stoic sage. Picture yourself scrolling past a hateful comment without a second thought, sitting through a tense meeting without taking the bait, or responding to a partner's frustration with patience instead of defensiveness. This isn't weakness, it's strength. It's the strength to say, I choose my peace over your chaos. It's the strength to live by your values, not someone else's agenda. The Stoics didn't just preach this philosophy, they lived it. Epictetus endured slavery and exile, yet he never let external circumstances break his spirit. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire under constant pressure, yet he found solace in his daily reflections, choosing reason over reaction. Seneca faced political intrigue and eventual execution, yet he wrote of inner tranquility until his final moments. These men weren't superhuman. They were practitioners of a philosophy that anyone can adopt. Their secret. They understood that true freedom comes from mastering your response to the world. As we move forward in this video, we'll explore how to apply this philosophy in practical ways. We'll look at why silence is often your greatest weapon, how to navigate the chaos of social media, the workplace, and relationships, and how to overcome the urge to react when every fiber of your being wants to fight back. The Stoics didn't just offer ideas, they gave us tools. Tools to build a life of resilience, clarity, and unshakable calm. Let's take the next step and discover how to wield them. In a world that thrives on noise, where every opinion demands a platform, every slight begs a comeback, and every conflict craves escalation, silence is a radical act. It's a weapon, not of weakness, but of unshakable strength. When you choose silence over reaction, you don't just defy expectations, you dismantle the very script others have written for you. The Stoics understood this power, and their wisdom offers us a way to wield it in today's chaos. Silence isn't passive. It's not surrender. It's a deliberate choice. a strategic move that shifts the balance of power in your favor. Let's explore why silence is your greatest weapon and how it can transform the way you navigate the drama of modern life. Picture this. You're scrolling through social media, and someone posts a provocative comment under your latest update. It's sharp, personal, designed to get under your skin. Your fingers hover over the keyboard, itching to fire back. The world expects you to respond, to defend yourself, to match their energy. But what happens if you don't? What happens if you let their words hang in the air, unanswered? In that moment, you've done something powerful. You've refused to play their game. You've taken away their fuel. The Stoics would say, you've reclaimed your inner citadel, the fortress of your mind that no external force can breach. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The nearest way to glory is to strive to be what you wish to be thought to be." When you choose silence, you're not just avoiding conflict, you're embodying the person you aspire to be. Calm, composed, in control. The person who provokes you wants your reaction because it validates their power. They want to see you rattled, to know they've gotten inside your head. By staying silent, you deny them that victory. You show them, and yourself, that your peace is untouchable. This is what makes silence a weapon. It disarms your opponent without a single word. In our modern culture, drama is currency. Social media thrives on it, with algorithms rewarding outrage and engagement, no matter how toxic. Reality television, online debates, even workplace gossip, all feed on the cycle of reaction and counter-reaction. The louder you shout, the more attention you get. But attention isn't power, it's a trap. The Stoics knew that true power lies in self-mastery, not in winning the crowd's applause. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher and statesman, wrote, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." He wasn't advocating despair, but perspective. Life is full of noise and chaos, but you don't have to add to it. By choosing silence, you rise above the fray. Let's consider a practical scenario. Imagine you're in a heated online argument. Someone misrepresents your words, twisting them to paint you as the villain. The comments pile up, each one more inflammatory than the last. Your instinct is to jump in, to set the record straight, to prove your point. But pause and ask, what do you gain? Will your response change their mind, or will it just fuel the fire? The Stoics would urge you to step back. Silence doesn't mean you agree with them. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're choosing not to waste your energy on a battle that doesn't serve you. As Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Silence allows you to listen, to observe, to stay grounded, while others lose themselves in the noise. This principle extends beyond the digital world. In a workplace meeting, when a colleague tries to undermine you with a passive-aggressive jab, silence can be your shield. Instead of reacting defensively, you let their words pass. You focus on your work, your purpose, your values. Your silence speaks louder than any retort. It shows confidence, control, and a refusal to be dragged into petty power games. In personal relationships, too, silence can be transformative. When a loved one lashes out in anger, responding with calm silence rather than a heated comeback can de-escalate tension and open the door to understanding. It's not about ignoring them, it's about giving both of you space to breathe. But let's be clear. Silence isn't about suppressing your voice forever. The Stoics weren't advocates of passivity. They believed in speaking and acting when it aligns with reason and purpose. Silence is a weapon when it's chosen deliberately, not out of fear or avoidance. It's the pause that lets you decide, is this moment worth my words? Is this person worth my energy? Sometimes the answer is yes. and you respond with clarity and strength. Other times, the answer is no, and silence becomes your statement. As Seneca wrote, "It is a great thing to know the season for speech and the season for silence." Why is silence so powerful? Because it disrupts the expectations of those who seek to control you. In a world that demands instant reactions, your refusal to engage is a rebellion. It's a declaration that you are not a puppet to others' strings. It forces others to confront their own behavior without the distraction of your response. When you don't react, the provocateur is left alone with their words, their anger, their chaos. Often, they'll unravel under the weight of their own script, while you remain steady, untouched. This doesn't mean silence is easy. It takes discipline to hold back when every fiber of your being wants to lash out. It takes courage to stand in your truth without needing to prove it to others. But that's what makes it a Stoic practice. It's a muscle you build over time, through small, intentional choices. Each time you choose silence over reaction, you strengthen your ability to stay calm under pressure. You train yourself to prioritize your peace over fleeting satisfaction, and in doing so, you align with the Stoic ideal of living according to reason, not emotion. As we move forward, we'll see how this principle applies to specific areas of life, social media, the workplace, and relationships. We'll explore real-world examples of silence in action and practical techniques to help you wield it effectively. Silence isn't just the absence of words, it's the presence of power. It's the choice to rise above the noise, to protect your peace, and to live on your terms. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, let your soul work on, undisturbed, and be as a fountain, ever flowing, never exhausted. Let silence be your fountain, steady, clear, and unbreakable. Social media is a battleground of opinions, egos, and provocations. Every post, comment, or like is a potential spark, ready to ignite a firestorm of reactions. In this digital arena, where outrage spreads faster than reason, the Stoic principle of not reacting becomes not just a philosophy, but a survival skill. The algorithms reward engagement, whether it's a heated argument or a viral rant, but the cost is often your peace of mind. By choosing silence and refusing to react, you can navigate the chaos of social media with the calm of a Stoic sage. Let's explore how to apply this principle in the online world, with practical examples and timeless wisdom to guide you. Imagine you share a post about something you care deeply about, a passion project, a personal milestone, or an opinion on a current issue. Within minutes, a stranger leaves a comment, tearing it apart. Their words are sharp, dismissive, maybe even cruel. Your heart races, and the urge to fire back is almost overwhelming. You want to defend yourself, to prove them wrong, to show the world you won't be silenced. But pause for a moment. What would the Stoics say? Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. That comment isn't your reality, it's just words on a screen. Your reaction, however, defines your state of mind. Will you let a stranger's negativity pull you into their drama? Or will you choose the path of inner strength? Consider a real-world example. Let's say you post a photo of a new project, you're proud of a piece of art, a business venture, or a personal achievement. Among the supportive comments, one stands out. This is amateur. You'll never make it. The sting is real. Your first instinct might be to respond with a witty comeback or a detailed defense of your work. But before you type a single word, ask yourself, who is this person? Do their words carry weight in your life? Are they someone whose opinion you value, like a mentor or a close friend? Or are they just a faceless critic seeking attention by tearing others down. The Stoics would urge you to see this for what it is. Nous. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By choosing silence, you deny the critic the reaction they crave. You protect your peace and keep your focus on what matters, your work, your growth, your purpose. Social media thrives on the cycle of provocation and reaction. Algorithms are designed to amplify conflict because it keeps users engaged. A single angry comment can spiral into a thread of back-and-forth insults, each one pulling you deeper into a vortex of negativity. The Stoics would see this as a trap. Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." The pain of a harsh comment comes not from the words themselves, but from the meaning you give them. If you refuse to engage, you break the cycle. You step out of the algorithm's grip and reclaim your autonomy. Silence isn't just a response. It's a rebellion against a system that profits from your distress. Let's look at another scenario. You're part of an online group discussing a topic you're passionate about, maybe politics, health, or a hobby. The conversation starts constructively, but soon someone posts a provocative opinion, baiting others into an argument. The thread explodes with heated replies, and you feel the pull to jump in, to correct their misinformation or defend your stance. But before you do, consider the Stoic practice of pausing. Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Who do you want to be in this moment? Someone caught in an endless online feud, or someone who rises above it by choosing not to react? You're not conceding defeat. You're choosing a higher path. You're saying, my peace is worth more than this argument. Your silence allows the conversation to burn out without consuming you. This doesn't mean you should never speak up. Stoicism isn't about becoming a doormat or ignoring injustice. If the situation calls for a reasoned response, if, for example, someone's spreading harmful misinformation that affects others, you can choose to engage, but do so with intention. Craft a response that aligns with your values, not one fueled by anger or pride. The difference lies in your mindset. A Stoic responds from a place of clarity, not reaction. They speak when it serves a purpose, not because they've been provoked. As Seneca advised, speak when it is not fit to be silent, but be silent when it is not fit to speak. Practicing silence on social media also has a practical benefit. It saves your energy for what truly matters. Every minute spent arguing online is a minute taken from your goals, your relationships, your growth. The Stoics were masters of prioritizing what's within their control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Instead of debating a troll, focus on creating something meaningful, a project, a will, a connection." Let your actions speak louder than any online comeback ever could. Your silence becomes a statement. You're too focused on your purpose to be distracted by noise. How do you start applying this in your own social media life? Begin with a simple rule. Pause before you post. When you feel the urge to react, take a deep breath and ask yourself 3 questions. Is this worth my time? Will my response change anything? Does this align with who I want to be? If the answer to any of these is no, let silence be your response. Over time, this practice becomes a habit. You'll notice that the urge to react fades, replaced by a sense of calm and control. You'll scroll past provocations with a smile, knowing you've chosen strength over chaos. Social media will always be a storm of opinions and emotions, but you don't have to be swept away. The Stoics teach us that true power lies in mastering ourselves, not in silencing others. By choosing silence, you protect your peace, disrupt the cycle of drama, and live on your own terms. As we move forward, we'll see how this same principle applies to other areas of life, like the workplace and relationships, where silence can be just as powerful. For now, remember this: in the noisy world of social media, your silence is a beacon of strength, a reminder that you, not the algorithm, not the critic, control your mind. The workplace is a crucible for testing your composure. Meetings, deadlines, and office dynamics often bring provocations, subtle jabs, overt criticisms, or power plays that tempt you to react impulsively. In these high-stakes environments, where egos clash and agendas compete, the Stoic principle of not reacting becomes a powerful tool. By choosing silence and self-control over knee-jerk responses, you can navigate workplace challenges with clarity and strength, preserving your peace while commanding respect. Let's explore how to apply this Stoic wisdom in meetings and professional settings, with practical examples and timeless lessons to guide you. Picture yourself in a team meeting. The discussion is tense, and a colleague interrupts you mid-sentence, dismissing your idea with a condescending remark, "That's not practical. We've tried it before." The room goes quiet, all eyes on you. Your pulse quickens, and the urge to fire back is almost overwhelming. To defend your idea, to challenge their tone, to reclaim your moment. But what would the Stoics do? Epictetus reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That colleague's remark is beyond your control, but your response is not. Instead of reacting, you take a breath, nod, and let the moment pass. Your silence isn't weakness. It's a calculated choice to stay focused on what matters. Your purpose, not their provocation. Let's break this down with a real-world example. Imagine you're pitching a new project to your team. You've prepared thoroughly, but during the presentation, a co-worker challenges you aggressively, questioning your data and implying you're unprepared. The room feels like a pressure cooker, and every instinct screams to argue back, to prove them wrong in front of everyone. But pause. What's the goal here? Is it to win an argument or to advance your project? The Stoics would ask you to focus on what's within your control: your preparation, your delivery, your professionalism. By choosing silence or a calm, measured response, you shift the dynamic. You show confidence, not defensiveness. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting their behavior back while you remain steady. Workplace provocations often come disguised as constructive feedback or just business. A manager might criticize your work in a way that feels personal. A colleague might take credit for your idea in a group setting. These moments test your Stoic resolve. Seneca wrote, "It is the part of a great mind to despise wrongs done to it." Despising wrongs doesn't mean ignoring them. It means refusing to let them dictate your emotions. When you don't react, you deny the provocateur the satisfaction of seeing you rattled. You maintain your dignity and keep the focus on your work, not their drama. Consider another scenario: a high-stakes meeting where two colleagues are locked in a heated debate, each trying to dominate the conversation. The room grows tense, and others start choosing sides, escalating the conflict. You're tempted to jump in, to take a stand or mediate the chaos. But what if you don't? What if you sit back, observe, and let the storm pass? The Stoics would see this as an act of wisdom. Epictetus taught, "Be silent for the most part, or if you speak, Say only what is necessary, and in a few words, by staying silent, you avoid getting entangled in a power struggle that serves no purpose. You preserve your energy for what truly matters: your contributions, your goals, your growth. Silence in the workplace isn't about being passive or disengaged. It's about choosing when to speak and when to hold back. There are times when action is necessary, when you need to address an injustice, clarify a misunderstanding, or advocate for your team. But even then, the Stoic approach is to respond with intention, not impulse. For example, if a colleague's criticism in a meeting is unfair, you might choose to address it later, in private, with a calm and reasoned conversation. This shows strength without escalating drama. As Seneca advised, we should be slow to anger and quick to make peace. Your silence in the moment creates space for a response that aligns with your values. Practicing this principle also builds your reputation. In a workplace where others react impulsively, raising their voices, sending heated emails, or engaging in gossip, your composure stands out. Colleagues and leaders notice when you remain calm under pressure, when you don't take the bait, when you focus on solutions rather than drama. This is the Stoic ideal of living as an example. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Let your deeds be your answer." Your silence in the face of provocation becomes a deed, a testament to your character and self-mastery. How can you apply this in your own work life? Start with a simple practice, the Stoic pause. When you feel provoked, whether by a critical email, a dismissive comment, or a tense meeting, take a moment to breathe and reflect. Ask yourself, is this worth my reaction? Will responding now advance my goals, or will it pull me into someone else's agenda? If the answer is no, let silence be your shield. Over time, this practice becomes second nature. You'll find yourself navigating workplace challenges with a calm that disarms critics and earns respect. Another technique is to reframe provocations. When a colleague's comment stings, remind yourself that their words reflect their state of mind, not your worth. Epictetus said, "What need is there to take notice of what others say about you? It is their affair, not yours." By detaching from their opinion, you free yourself to focus on your work. If the situation calls for a response, prepare one that's concise and professional, delivered from a place of clarity, not emotion. This approach turns potential conflicts into opportunities to demonstrate your strength. The workplace will always have its share of drama, rivalries, misunderstandings, and power plays, but you don't have to be part of it. By embracing the Stoic art of not reacting, you create a space where you can thrive, unburdened by the chaos around you. Your silence becomes a statement. You are here to do meaningful work, not to fuel petty conflicts. As we continue, we'll explore how this same principle applies to personal relationships, where the stakes are often even higher. For now, know this: in the pressure cooker of the workplace, your silence is not just a weapon, it's a shield, a compass, and a legacy of strength. Romantic relationships are among the most profound and challenging arenas for practicing Stoic principles. In the heat of an argument with a partner, emotions run high, and the urge to react impulsively can feel overwhelming. Words are flung like weapons, and the instinct to defend, accuse, or retaliate often takes over. Yet, it's in these intimate moments that the Stoic art of not reacting and embracing silence can be most transformative. By choosing restraint over reaction, you protect not only your peace but also the health of your relationship. Let's explore how to apply Stoic wisdom in romantic relationships, with practical examples and timeless lessons to guide you towards stronger, more resilient connections. Imagine a late-night conversation with your partner that spirals into conflict. Maybe it's about a forgotten promise, a difference in values, or a simple misunderstanding. Their voice rises, and they say something cutting, perhaps accusing you of not caring enough. Your heart pounds, and the urge to snap back is intense, to point out their flaws, to escalate the argument, to prove you're right. But what would the Stoics advise? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Your partner's words are outside your control, but your response is not. Instead of reacting, you take a deep breath, stay silent for a moment, and let the storm of their words pass. This pause isn't avoidance, it's a deliberate choice to preserve your peace and the relationship's foundation. Let's consider a specific example. You and your partner are discussing plans for the future, maybe about moving to a new city or starting a family. They express frustration, saying, "You're always so focused on your career. You never think about us." The accusation stings, and your first instinct might be to defend yourself. That's not true. "I'm always thinking about us." But reacting in the heat of the moment often escalates the conflict, turning a discussion into a battle. Instead, try the Stoic approach. Pause and reflect. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By staying silent, you give yourself space to process their words. Are they upset about your priorities? Or is this frustration coming from something deeper? Silence allows you to listen not just to their words, but to the emotions behind them. This pause can be a game changer. In that moment of silence, you might nod, acknowledge their feelings with a simple, "I hear you," and ask a calm question. "Can you tell me more about what's been on your mind?" This isn't about suppressing your perspective. It's about choosing a response that builds understanding rather than conflict. Seneca wrote, "We should be slow to anger and quick to make peace." By refusing to react impulsively, you create space for a real conversation, one that strengthens your bond rather than tearing it apart. Your silence becomes a bridge, not a barrier. Romantic relationships are uniquely challenging because they're so deeply personal. A partner's words carry weight, and their criticisms can cut deeper than a stranger's. But the Stoics remind us that even in these moments, we have a choice. Epictetus said, "What need is there to take notice of what others say about you? It is their affair, not yours." When your partner lashes out, their words often reflect their own frustrations, fears, or insecurities, not a definitive truth about you. By not reacting, you avoid fueling a cycle of blame and counterblame. You give both of you a chance to step back, cool down, and approach the issue with clarity. Let's look at another scenario. You're in the middle of a heated argument about household responsibilities. Your partner snaps, "You never help out around here." It's tempting to fire back with a list of everything you've done or to point out their own shortcomings. But instead, you choose silence. You take a moment to breathe, letting their words settle. In that pause, you remind yourself of the Stoic principle of focusing on what's in your control, your actions, your tone, your intent. Later, when emotions have cooled, you might say, "I want us to work together on this. Let's figure out a plan that feels fair." This approach doesn't just de-escalate. It shows your partner that you're committed to solutions, not arguments. Silence in relationships isn't about shutting down or withdrawing. It's about creating space for reason to prevail over emotion. The Stoics understood that love and conflict often go hand in hand, but they believed in addressing both with wisdom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." Loving with all your heart doesn't mean reacting impulsively. It means responding with patience, understanding, and strength. Silence can be an act of love, a way to honor your partner by refusing to let fleeting emotions dictate your words. How can you practice this in your own relationships? Start with the Stoic pause. When a conversation starts to escalate, take a moment to breathe and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Will reacting now strengthen our connection or weaken it? If the answer is no, let silence guide you. Another technique is to reframe your partner's words. Instead of seeing their frustration as an attack, view it as a signal of their needs or fears. This perspective, rooted in Stoic compassion, helps you respond with empathy rather than defensiveness. Over time, this practice builds trust. Your partner will notice your calm, your refusal to escalate, your commitment to understanding. They'll see you as a rock, someone who can weather emotional storms without crumbling. This doesn't mean you'll never disagree or that you should suppress your feelings. When it's time to speak, do so with clarity and purpose, as the Stoics advise. But by making silence your default in heated moments, you create a foundation for healthier, more resilient relationships. As we move forward, we'll explore how to overcome the urge to react and practical techniques to stay calm under pressure. For now, remember this. In the intimate dance of a romantic relationship, silence is not distance, it's presence. It's the strength to listen, the wisdom to pause, and the courage to choose love over conflict. In the words of Seneca, it is a great thing to know the season for speech and the season for silence. In love, silence can be your greatest gift. The urge to react is one of the most primal forces we face. When someone cuts you off with a sharp comment, undermines you in a meeting, or sparks an argument with your partner, your body responds before your mind can catch up, heart racing, palms sweating, words forming on the tip of your tongue. In these moments, reacting feels natural, even necessary. But the Stoics teach us that giving in to this impulse often leads to regret, escalation, or a loss of control. True strength lies in overcoming that urge, in choosing calm over chaos. This isn't easy. It's a skill, a muscle you build through practice. Let's explore practical Stoic techniques to master your emotions, stay composed under pressure, and turn the urge to react into an opportunity for growth. The first step to overcoming the urge to react is understanding why it's so powerful. The Stoics recognize that our emotions are triggered by external events, but they're shaped by our perceptions. When someone insults you, it's not their words that make you angry, it's the meaning you assign to them. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This insight is liberating. You can't control what others say or do, but you can control how you interpret and respond to it. The urge to react often comes from a sense of threat to your ego, your reputation, or your sense of fairness. By reframing the situation, you can diffuse that threat and reclaim your power. Let's start with a foundational Stoic practice: the pause. When you feel the urge to react, whether it's to a snarky email, a heated argument, or a social media jab, take a moment to breathe. This pause is your first line of defense. It creates a gap between the stimulus and your response, giving you space to choose reason over impulse. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In that pause, ask yourself 3 questions. Is this worth my peace? Will reacting serve my purpose? Who do I want to be in this moment? These questions anchor you in your values, helping you decide whether to respond or let silence speak for you. Try this in practice. Imagine you receive a critical message from a coworker accusing you of dropping the ball on a project. Your instinct is to fire back, defending your efforts. Instead, pause. Take 5 deep breaths, counting slowly to 4 on each inhale and exhale. This simple act calms your nervous system, giving your rational mind a chance to take the lead. Then, ask yourself, is this criticism valid? If it is, you might choose to acknowledge it later with a constructive response. If it's not, you might decide it's not worth your energy. The pause transforms a reactive moment into a deliberate one, aligning your actions with Stoic wisdom. Another powerful technique is negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum. This Stoic practice involves imagining potential challenges before they happen, preparing yourself to face them with calm. Before a big meeting, a tough conversation with your partner, or dive into social media, take a moment to visualize provocations. Picture a colleague dismissing your idea, your partner snapping in frustration, or a troll leaving a nasty comment. Then, imagine yourself responding with silence or a measured reply. By rehearsing these scenarios, you train your mind to stay composed when they arise. Seneca wrote, "We should project our thoughts ahead of us at every turn and have in mind all possible eventualities." This mental preparation reduces the shock of provocations, making it easier to resist the urge to react. Journaling is another Stoic tool to build resilience. Marcus Aurelius used his meditations as a daily reflection, writing to clarify his thoughts and reinforce his principles. You can do the same. At the end of each day, write about a moment when you felt the urge to react. Describe what triggered you, how you felt, and how you responded or didn't. Then, reflect. Did your response align with your values? If not, what could you do differently next time? This practice helps you identify patterns, understand your triggers, and strengthen your ability to choose silence over reaction. Over time, you'll notice the urge to react losing its grip, replaced by a growing sense of control. Reframing is another key technique. When someone provokes you, their words often feel like an attack on your character, but the Stoics remind us that their behavior is about them, not you. Epictetus said, "What need is there to take notice of what others say about you? It is their affair, not yours. If your partner snaps, you never listen to me." Reframe it. They might be feeling unheard, not necessarily accusing you of being a bad person. If a coworker criticizes your work, consider that they might be stressed or insecure, not targeting you. This perspective doesn't excuse bad behavior. It frees you from taking it personally. By seeing their words as a reflection of their state, you weaken the urge to react and stay grounded in your own truth. Physical practices can also help. The Stoics valued discipline in both mind and body, recognizing that our physical state influences our emotions. When you feel the urge to react, try a quick physical reset. Stand up, stretch, or take a short walk. These actions disrupt the adrenaline rush that fuels impulsive reactions. Pair this with a Stoic mantra, like "I control my response," to refocus your mind. Over time, these small habits build a reflex of calm, making it easier to choose silence in heated moments. Let's apply this to a real scenario. You're in a heated discussion with your partner, and they say something that cuts deep, like, "You're always so selfish." The urge to snap back is strong. Instead, you pause, take a deep breath, and reframe. They're upset, maybe feeling neglected. You say, "I hear you. Let's talk about what's going on." Or you stay silent, letting the moment pass until you're both calmer. Later, you journal about the experience, noting what triggered you and how you stayed in control. This combination of pausing, reframing, and reflecting transforms a potential argument into an opportunity for understanding. Overcoming the urge to react isn't about suppressing your emotions, it's about mastering them. The Stoics didn't advocate for a life without feeling. They believed in aligning emotions with reason. By practicing these techniques, pausing, visualizing, journaling, reframing, and physical resets, you build the strength to choose your response, whether it's silence or a thoughtful reply. As Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." Each time you overcome the urge to react, you reinforce your inner citadel, the unshakable core of your character. As we move forward, we'll explore historical examples of Stoic masters who lived these principles, showing how their wisdom can inspire us today. For now, know this: the urge to react is a test, and every time you pass it, you grow stronger. Your silence, your restraint, your deliberate choice to stay calm, these are the marks of a Stoic, and they're within your reach. The Stoic philosophers didn't just write about the power of not reacting, they lived it. Through exile, political intrigue, and personal hardship, figures like Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca faced provocations that would break most people, yet they remained steadfast. Using silence and self-control as their greatest tools, their lives offer us not just inspiration, but practical lessons for applying Stoic principles in our own challenges. Let's explore 3 historical examples from these Stoic masters, showing how they embodied the art of not reacting and how their wisdom can guide us in today's chaotic world. First, consider Epictetus, a former slave who became one of Stoicism's greatest teachers, born into servitude in the Roman Empire. Epictetus endured unimaginable hardship, physical labor, humiliation, and a complete lack of control over his circumstances, yet he never let external conditions dictate his inner peace. One story stands out. While still a slave, Epictetus's master once twisted his leg in a cruel act of punishment. Instead of crying out or retaliating, Epictetus calmly said, "You will break it." When the leg snapped, he simply added, "I told you so." This wasn't defiance or sarcasm. It was a profound demonstration of Stoic detachment. Epictetus knew he couldn't control his master's actions, but he could control his response. As he later taught, there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. His silence in the face of cruelty disarmed his oppressor, showing that true strength lies in mastering oneself, not fighting back. Epictetus's life teaches us that silence isn't weakness, it's a choice to focus on what's within our control. In our modern lives, we might face a toxic boss, a critical colleague, or an online troll. Like Epictetus, we can choose not to react, not because we're powerless, but because we refuse to let others' actions disrupt our peace. When someone provokes you, ask, "Is this worth my energy?" Epictetus's calm in the face of pain reminds us that silence can be a powerful assertion of our inner freedom. Next, let's turn to Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who ruled during a time of war, plague, and betrayal. Despite his immense power, Marcus faced constant provocations, scheming senators, disloyal generals, and even personal tragedies like the loss of his children. Yet, he turned to his private journal, Meditations, to reflect and recommit to Stoic principles. One anecdote illustrates his restraint. During a public event, a critic openly mocked him, questioning his authority. Instead of ordering punishment or defending his honor, Marcus remained silent, later writing, "If anyone can refute me, Show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective. I'll gladly change. It's the truth I'm after. His silence wasn't passive. It was a deliberate choice to seek truth over ego. By refusing to react, he preserved his clarity and modeled the Stoic ideal of leading by example. Marcus's example is a lesson for us in high-stakes situations, like a tense workplace meeting or a heated family dispute. When someone challenges your ideas or character, the urge to defend yourself is strong. But Marcus teaches us to pause and ask, is this about my ego or about what's right? Silence gives you the space to reflect and respond with reason, not emotion. Next time you're criticized, try channeling Marcus. Stay quiet, reflect, and focus on what aligns with your values. Finally, consider Seneca, the Stoic philosopher and advisor to Emperor Nero. Living in Nero's volatile court, Seneca navigated constant danger. Political rivals slandered him, and Nero's erratic behavior threatened his life. Yet, Seneca practiced restraint, even when falsely accused of plotting against the emperor. When ordered to take his own life, Seneca faced his fate with calm, using his final moments to comfort his family and friends, rather than curse his accusers. He wrote, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." Seneca's silence in the face of injustice wasn't resignation. It was a refusal to let external chaos erode his inner peace. Seneca's story resonates in moments when we feel wronged, perhaps by a betrayal, a false rumor, or an unfair judgment. Instead of lashing out, Seneca would urge us to focus on our character. In a modern context, imagine a co-worker spreading gossip about you. The instinct to confront them is natural, but Seneca's example suggests a different path. Stay silent. Do your work with integrity, and let your actions speak. As he wrote, "Lay hold of today's task, and you will not need to depend so much on tomorrow's." Silence preserves your energy for what truly matters, living well. These Stoic masters faced trials far greater than most of us will ever know. Yet they chose silence and self-control over reaction. Their lives remind us that not reacting isn't about suppressing anger or avoiding conflict. It's about choosing a response that aligns with reason and virtue. Epictetus's calm under cruelty, Marcus' restraint under criticism, and Seneca's dignity under condemnation show us that silence is a weapon of the wise. As we face our own provocations on social media, at work, or in relationships, we can draw on their examples to stay grounded. How can we apply their lessons today? Start by reflecting on their stories when you feel triggered. Ask yourself, what would Epictetus do in this moment? How would Marcus handle this criticism? Could I face this injustice with Seneca's calm? By internalizing their wisdom, you build a mental framework for restraint. Over time, silence becomes not just a reaction, but a way of life, a testament to your strength, and a tribute to the Stoic masters who showed us the way. We've journeyed through the Stoic art of not reacting, exploring how silence and self-control can transform the way you navigate life's provocations. From the chaos of social media to the tensions of the workplace and the intimacy of romantic relationships, we've seen how choosing not to react is not a sign of weakness, but a profound act of strength. The Stoic masters, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca showed us that true power lies in mastering our minds, not in controlling others. Now, it's time to bring this wisdom into your own life. Let's wrap up with a reflection on why this matters and a call to action to start practicing Stoic calm today. The world around us thrives on reaction. Every notification, every slight, every argument is designed to pull you into its orbit. to make you surrender your peace for the sake of drama. But you are not a puppet to these forces. As we've learned, the Stoic principle of not reacting is a rebellion against this chaos. It's a declaration that your inner peace, your character, and your purpose are worth more than fleeting moments of outrage or defensiveness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the heart of Stoicism, the freedom to choose your response, to stand firm like a rock in a stormy sea. We've seen this principle in action across different arenas. On social media, silence disarms, trolls, and frees you from the algorithm's grip. In the workplace, restraint in the face of criticism showcases your professionalism and earns respect. In relationships, a pause before reacting builds understanding and strengthens bonds. And through the lives of the Stoic masters, we've witnessed how silence and self-control can endure even the greatest trials, slavery, betrayal, and exile. These lessons aren't just ancient wisdom, they're tools for thriving in our modern world, where provocations are constant. But your peace doesn't have to be. So, how do you start? Begin with one simple practice, the Stoic pause. The next time you feel the urge to react, whether to a cutting comment, a workplace yab, or a partner's frustration, take a deep breath and count to 5. In that moment, ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Will reacting serve my higher purpose? This small act can shift your perspective, giving you the space to choose silence or a reasoned response. Make it a habit, and you'll find the urge to react losing its power over you. Next, commit to one Stoic technique from our journey. Try negative visualization before a challenging day. Imagine potential provocations and picture yourself responding with calm. Or start a Stoic journal, reflecting each evening on moments when you stayed in control or didn't, and how you can improve. These practices, drawn from the Stoics themselves, build the muscle of self-mastery over time. As Seneca wrote, "No man was ever wise by chance. Your strength is forged through deliberate effort, one choice at a time." Finally, embrace the Stoic mindset. Focus on what's in your control. You can't stop others from criticizing, arguing, or misunderstanding you, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to let their words pass like clouds, to protect your inner citadel, to live according to reason and virtue. This is the legacy of the Stoics, not a life without challenges, but a life where challenges don't define you. Every time you choose silence over reaction, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're building a life of resilience, clarity, and purpose. So, here's your call to action. Start today. The next time you face a provocation, whether it's a heated comment online, a tense moment at work, or a misunderstanding with someone you love, pause. Choose silence. Choose strength. Let the Stoic wisdom guide you to a life where no one can take your peace unless you give it away. As Epictetus said, there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Take that step now. Be the master of your mind, and let your silence be your strength.